All right, moving to our mats. I'm going to recommend a blanket, maybe a couple blocks if you have them, as usual, or a book, heavy book, something like that. So something to help with your with stability in some of the poses. And then for also the biggest use for me for my blocks is I sit on one of them in the beginning. My little downward dog specialist is here in class already. She's already counting down the moments so she can have a little bark off. All right. Let's first take stock of our area. Make note of all your points of contact with the floor. Notice where your feet are touching, the top of your feet, maybe your shins or your knees, your bottom, touching the floor or your block. Sitting up nice and tall. Your spine in alignment. Relax your shoulders onto the back of your body. Relax any tension you're holding in your jaw or your face. Notice any sounds or smells in your environment. Let's allow your eyes to go out of focus, or close your eyes if you'd like. Let's just begin to focus inward, focusing on the movement of our breath. Breathing down into your belly. Notice that your abdomen rises with each inhale. And as you exhale, gently release your breath. Your abdomen falls. Let's begin to take a little control of our breath. Take a nice gentle inhale all the way in through the nose and all the way out through the nose. One more time, all the way in and out. Now let's begin our three-part breathing. So nice gentle inhale to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale 8. Really follow that breath all the way in and all the way out. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And exhale 8. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale 8. And release your breath. Drop your chin to your chest. And then inhale, rolling your ear up to the left shoulder. Exhale, rolling your chin back down. So we'll do a brief warm up of our neck and shoulders. Continue this motion. We inhale, exhale, we bring our chin back down to the chest. And then go to the other side. Nice and slow. Look for any areas of tension. And just stay there and work on them if you do. Find them. Just mobilizing the muscles and connective tissues of your neck. We so often hold tension there and don't even know it. All right, coming back to neutral. Let's reach around behind and clasp your hands. Press your arms away from you, straightening your arms. This automatically rolls your shoulders onto your back. Lift your heart. Now lift your hands and arms away from your back. Feel a good stretch across the front of your body. Very good, releasing your hands. Let's do a brief twist. So bring the left hand to the right thigh and reach the right hand behind you to the base of your spine. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale. Look back over your right shoulder. Chin is staying level with the floor, extending through the crown of your head. Inhale, come forward and on around to the other side. Right hand to right, left thigh, left hand around behind. Sitting up nice and tall, looking back over the left shoulder. And then coming forward, let's do some big shoulder rolls towards the back. Big shoulder rolls, big circles with your shoulders. Today, we're going to start our series on focusing on kind of a deep dive into sun salutation. We'll do the rest of our class as well, but we'll throw in some fun facts about sun salutation. Now let's roll our shoulders to the front, and we'll each week deep dive into a couple of the poses. So that at the end, you'll be like sun salute experts. And then, all right, let's shake it out. But first, let's go ahead and do our alternate nostril breathing. This is kind of like getting the basics in before we do anything else. All right, alternate nostril breathing. We've all been doing this together for a while. So just follow along with me. I'll do your counting. We'll use our right hand, fold down the first two fingers. Thumb will cover the right nostril. Finger covers the left. Sitting up nice and tall. Take a nice gentle inhale all the way in through the nose and out through the nose. Inhaling for a count of 4. Cover the right nostril with your thumb. Exhale for 8. Inhale, same side for 4. Close and hold for 8. 2 locks. Open the thumb, exhale for 8. Inhale, same side for 4. And hold for 8. 2 locks. Open the finger, exhale for 8. Inhale, same side for 4. And hold for 8. Open the thumb, exhale 8. Inhale, same side for 4. Hold for 8. You release any tension you're holding in your shoulders or in your face. Open the finger, exhale 8. Release your hand. Release your breath. And just sit very still. Looking inward. And when you're ready, take a big inhale, flutter your eyes open. All right, here we are, sun salutation. So first I thought I'd talk about a little bit about what is it, and then we'll get into doing it. Okay, so the sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. This Surya Namaskar are the two words. They mean Surya means sun, or actually it's a reference to the sun god of ancient Hindu and Eastern philosophy. And very basic, because we're all dependent on the sun, and those ancient peoples were even more dependent on the sun. And they lived in much more contact with their environment. So namaskar means to greet, to bow, or to adore in Sanskrit. And so we put it all together. It's basically to greet or to bow to the sun. It's traditionally, I've read different ways. It's traditionally performed facing the rising sun. I've heard, and which makes a lot of sense to me, that you perform it with your back to the sun. And then as you move through the practice, it warms your spine and facilitates your movement. It's unclear when it got started. There's some record of the sun salutation going back all the way back 2,500 years or more in Vedic times. And it was basically a prostration to the sun god. There are others, traditionalists, who disagree with this. But it was basically popularized around the turn of the century and brought to the West by all of those people that came and popularized yoga in the West. Shivananda, Vivekananda, Yogananda, all of these used the sun salutation as a basic warm-up, or as a standalone practice, or as a meditative practice. We'll be exploring all of those things. So first, let's move to the top of our mat, and then we'll move through the basic movements, and we'll talk about their names and the in and out of the breathing. So in my training, sun salutation is taught as a basic warm-up. And that's the way we'll use it today. 12 basic movements, all linked with your breath, all aiming to not only warm up your body, but warm up your mind as well. So we come to our first pose in sun salutation at the top of the mat, working our way up from the ground. First, plant your heel, the balls of your feet, spread the toes, and lay them down, creating a nice strong base of support. In postural alignment, you want to activate the muscles of your thighs, lifting the kneecaps, activate your glutes and your lower abdominals. This co-activation of muscles creates a stability and puts your pelvis in a neutral position. Lift your chin. Chin is level with the floor. Engaging your core, roll your shoulders onto the back of your body. Engaging the lower third of your trapezius muscles, lift your heart. Extend through the crown of your head, lengthening the back of the neck. Turn your palms forward. And now we're in Tadasana pose. It's basically like home base. This is accurate postural alignment. We'll come back here throughout standing practice to rest or just to take stock of how your body is feeling in this neutral position. Tadasana pose, we inhale, raising our hands to our heart center, creating Anjali Mudra. And then rest your shoulders again. The thumbs are pressing into the sternum at the lower 2/3 of the sternum. Palms are together. So this is the first movement. Inhale, and then we exhale here. Then inhale, reaching our arms up and overhead. Looking up between the hands. This is the second move. It's Urdhva Astasana, upward salute. This is, and we inhale here. And then exhale is folding forward. Bring our hands alongside our feet. This is standing forward fold for Ustasana. Now take a big inhale and take a big double step back with the left foot. Drop that back knee and press your heart forward, inhaling. When you get to the top of your inhale, step back to the top of a plank, retaining your breath. And then you exhale as you drop your knees, chest, and forehead towards the mat. Slide forward, pressing your pelvis into the mat, point your toes, and lift your chest. Inhaling. This is Bhujangasana, or Cobra pose. Then exhale, tuck your toes in the back. Lift your knees and hips. Coming through your tabletop into downward facing dog. This is an exhale. Then on the inhale, lift that left foot and bring it forward, stepping down between the hands. Inhaling here. And now we're just repeating the other half of those that we just moved through. This low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Then lift the back knee, step forward with the right foot, exhaling, forward, standing forward, fold, Ustasana. Then inhale, hinging from the hips, bringing the arms up and overhead. And then exhale, hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. Back into Tadasana, home base. Now that's half of a sun salutation. For a full round of sun salutation, you do the other side. So that's what we'll do now, and we'll stop and talk about a few things. So inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhale, folding forward from the hips, bring your hands alongside your feet. Here's our first point. It's not really all that important that our legs are straight here. It's important that our back is straight here. So you're folding forward from the hips. It's okay to keep a bend in the knees so you can protect your low back. From this safe position, you can then begin to straighten your knees and find the limits of your flexibility. Let's take a big step back with that right foot this time. Drop the back knee, press your heart forward. So there are a number of ways to modify this pose. From here, if it's not easy for you to lift that back knee and step back directly, you can leave this back foot, the back knee planted, and just move that foot back so that you come to your tabletop before you move into your plank pose. Another point is in this area is the movement here in some forms of yoga it's called Chaturanga Dandasana, where you lower your chest and forehead towards the mat, kind of like a push-up, and then slide forward. the way I was taught and the way that we often do it is we lower our knees and then lower our chest and forehead towards the mat, sliding forward. Press your pelvis into the mat, point the toes. Here, we're pressing them down into the floor so much that we're lifting our knees, lifting our chest and shoulders, keeping the back of the neck long, looking in front of us. Bhujangasana, inhale. Exhale, tuck the toes, coming into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lifting the right foot and bring it down in between your hands. Notice how my foot only made it about halfway there. It's okay, just grab it and move it up there. That all comes with flexibility and core engagement. Then we exhale, stepping forward with the left and coming into forward fold. Then inhale, hinging from the hips. Arms come up and overhead, arching back, extending the back. Exhale, hands to your heart. As a warm-up, it's tradition. I was taught that we traditionally go through 4 to 8 rounds of sun salutations. That's both sides. I typically don't go that far unless I'm making it the bulk of my practice. But now let's move through another round, both sides, and we'll move it at a deliberate pace, but I'm going to do it without all of the explanation, so you can feel the movement linking with the breath. So inhale and exhale the hands to the heart center. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, folding. Stepping back left, inhale, drop the knee. Hold the breath, step back to a plank. Exhale, drop the knees, chest and forehead, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the knees and hips, down dog. Inhale, stepping forward with the left, pressing your heart forward. Exhale, stepping forward with the right, folding forward. Inhale, coming to a stand, reaching up, arms up and overhead, arching back. Then exhale the hands to the heart. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, folding. Inhale, stepping back right. Hold, stepping back left. Exhale, drop the knees, chest and forehead, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting the chest and shoulders, Bhujangasana, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward with the right. Exhale, step forward with the left, folding. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, palms touch, arching back. Exhale, hands to your heart. Very good. I'm feeling warmed up. I hope you are too. Let's come to lying down on our mat for a brief rest. Extend your legs out below you. Rest your arms away from your body, palms facing up. Now moving away from our focus on the sun salutation as our warm-up, we'll move into the rest of our practice. So take a nice gentle inhale all the way in, reach your arms up and overhead, take a good stretch along the left and right sides of your body. And then bring your feet in till your soles of your feet, I almost said the palms of your feet, the soles of your feet are flat. We're going to move into our shoulder stand. Shoulder stand. So there are some variations here too that I want to talk about. If this posture is pinches your neck, you can use your blanket positioned at the top of your shoulders so that the top of the blanket is just at the level of the top of your shoulders. That'll create a little bit of extra space for your neck. Then you roll your knees up towards your nose, catch your low back with your hands, walk your elbows in behind you. There's a lot of adjustment in this pose. And then extend your soles of your feet up to the sky. And then from here, focus on your breath. This posture is good for all of your internal organs. It's good because it changes the way that your body manages its blood pressure, it causes your body to release feel-good hormones that aid in your healing, rest, and relaxation. If this feels good and you'd like to, you can move into halasana, plow pose, by bringing your feet down above your head. It's not important that your feet touch the floor, but if they don't, you should continue to support your low back with your hands. If they do, you can clasp your hands behind you and press them into the floor, or you can just keep supporting your low back. If your legs don't go straight because you have tight hamstrings, it's okay to bend your legs. When you're ready to come out of this pose, gently, while supporting your low back, gently roll yourself back down to the floor. Take a couple deep breaths, allowing your body to just accommodate this position. Okay, so we bent one direction, let's bend in the other, preparing for our bridge pose. So for bridge, bringing your feet in to just where you can touch them with the tips of your fingers. Press your strong feet down into the mat, lifting your pelvis. You can, if it's comfortable for you, clasp your hands underneath and walk your shoulders underneath your body. If it's not comfortable for you, you can just leave your elbows pressing into the mat, point your toes up on your fingers up towards the ceiling, and just press down on your elbows while you're pressing down on your feet, lifting your bridge. Lifting your heart. Engage your gluteal muscles. It'll help you to lift your bridge, but it'll also send a signal to the front of your hips to release those muscles in the front so you can lift your hips a little bit higher. Take a big inhale. Exhale, lowering your bridge all the way down. Very good. Grab your left knee with your hands and tug it into towards your left shoulder. Rotate your ankle. Maybe one way and maybe then the other way. Very good. Releasing the left back down to the floor, straightening that leg. Pull the right knee in, tug it in all the way into the right, towards your right shoulder, but into your chest. Maybe rotate that ankle. Then back the other way. All right, extending that leg out. Actually, now let's pull both knees in, just where you can put your hands on your knees, arms are extended. Now just let's draw a big circle in the air with our knees, massaging our low back and sacrum. Big circles. And then go back the other direction. Very good. Releasing your feet back down to the floor. Roll up to a seated position and extend your legs out in front of you. We've already warmed up for our forward fold when we were standing and doing our sun salute. So for here, we're going to do Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana is seated forward fold. So we've done our forward fold standing. We've done a forward fold upside down on our shoulders, and now we're doing a forward fold while we're seated. All these folds, they both act on the same muscles and on different muscles, and they cause you to activate in different ways. So in this way, we're going to sit up nice and tall. We have to engage our abdominals to sit up tall like this. Maybe move any flesh away from your sitting bones so you're really in contact with the floor. Now, you can bring your arms up, straight up and overhead. Inhale, looking up at your hands, and then exhale, hinging from the hips, fold forward. Okay, so this is as far as I went. Bring your hands down to your shins or your ankles or feet, wherever they are. And then roll your chest, rib cage down onto your thighs. Notice how I put a nice bend in my knees. That's because my low back is tight. And also because my hamstrings are tight. When I straighten my legs all the way, I can begin to feel some tension in my low back. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Once you're folded all the way over here, stretching your whole back, drop your chin to your chest. Then just breathe. Let's stay here for a nice 6 long breaths. Intentionally relaxing into this posture with each exhale. Very good. Walking your hands up your legs to your thighs, back down to the floor, sitting up nice and tall again. Bring your hands behind you, about a hand's width behind your bottom, straightening your arms. Your fingers are pointing towards your feet. Now point your toes. Press your heels into the floor, press your hands into the floor, and lift your pelvis up to the ceiling. Roll your shoulders onto your back. Continue lifting your pelvis. Now look up at the sky. Reversing your plank. Upward facing plank, I guess. And then go to the breath. Really engage your gluteal muscles. It's going to help you lift your pelvis. Big inhale, and then exhale, lowering your bottom back down to the floor. Very good. Okay, bring your heels in and bring the soles of your feet together. You maybe want to clasp your toes, and then you can either flap your knees, kind of creating like a dynamic stretch for those for the muscles and connective tissues on the inside of your legs and in your groin. I often like to clasp my ankles and press down on my knees with my elbows. Gently, don't hurt yourself. To create more of a static stretch. And then I focus on breathing into any areas of tension. Excellent. Okay. Moving your heels away from you, maybe about a foot breadth away, kind of creating a diamond shape with your legs. Sit up nice and tall, and then fold forward again from the hips. And this, I've noticed it's not a whole lot of movement here. Unless you're really flexible and you can fold right over, that's good too. If you're not though, just go as far as is comfortable. If it feels good, you can even reach your arms underneath your legs, clasp your feet. That'll give you a little bit more momentum to pull your torso forward. Excellent. Sitting back up. Let's go into our Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated twist. So first, let's tuck the right foot under, like you're going into a cross leg. You want to position yourself so that both of your sitting bones are still on the floor, right? And then bring your left foot over the right knee and plant the sole of the foot on the floor. Now we've fully pretzeled our legs. Bring the left hand around behind, supporting the base of your spine so you can sit up tall. Reach up with the right arm. Inhale. And then exhale, reaching around that left knee. Look back over the left shoulder. Continue to extend through the crown with each inhale. And then as you exhale, press your big toe of your left foot into the mat and look back over that left shoulder. Good job, Michelle. Good job, Ellie. Probably feel this on the outside of that left hip. Breathe into it. When you've had enough, take a big inhale. Bring your torso forward and then on around to the right for a counter twist. And then come back to neutral. Uncross your legs and then recross them the other way. So tuck the left foot under. Position yourself so you're sitting up nice and tall on both of your sitting bones. Cross the right foot over the left knee so that you can press your foot, the sole of your foot into the floor. Bring the right hand around to the base of your spine, pressing down into the floor, extending your spine. Inhale, reach up with the left, look up with the left hand. Exhale, reach around that right knee and look back over the right shoulder. Tug that right knee into you. You'll feel a good stretch on the outside of your right hip. Great job, Carrie. Big inhale, coming forward, and then all the way around to the other side. Inhale, coming forward, extend the legs out in front of you. And then let's come to a standing at the top of our mat. We're doing good on that. Shake it out if you got any tension you're holding anywhere. We're going to do we're going to move through next into Warrior One. So we first move our left foot to the left front corner of our mat. And notice that your feet, have your feet at about shoulder width apart here. Then take a big step back with your right foot, but in line so that you maintain that shoulder width distance between the feet. You want to step a good long step back, sink forward so that your left knee is over the left ankle. You don't want to step back so far that you can't keep both of your feet flat though. If I find that if you go too far back, you can't plant that back foot. And then you're kind of stuck with all of your weight bearing on the left. So make sure that you can really bear weight in both of your feet. Turn your pelvis forward to the front of your mat. Sink forward into that left knee. You can push this right hip forward by really pressing into the outside edge of your right foot. Very good. Engage your glutes, engage your lower abdomen. Locking your pelvis in place, inhale and reach your arms up and overhead. Looking up, palms facing one another like you're holding a big beach ball. Lift your heart. Drive that right hip forward and sink forward into that left knee. You don't want your knee to surpass your ankle or surpass your toes on the left in order to protect your knee. Very good. Now bring your arms down and around behind you. Clasp your hands in the back. Then we're going to fold forward to the inside of that left knee. This is humble warrior. You want to continue to bear weight on both of your feet, although you're going to, just because of this position, you're going to be bearing more weight on the left. Focus on your breathing. Now take a big inhale and come back up to a stand. Bring your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart center, step forward. Back in Tadasana pose. Rechecking your postural alignment. Kind of taking stock of how your body feels now. I'm going to turn this direction so I can keep an eye on you guys. Let's do the other side now. So plant your right foot at the front of your mat and then take a big step back in line with the left. Still shoulder width distance between the feet. Press forward so that your right knee is over the right ankle. The left leg is nice and straight. And you're pressing into the outside edge of that left foot. Turn your pelvis towards the front of your mat. Engage your left glute. Engage your lower abdomen. Locking your pelvis in place. Big inhale, reaching your arms up and overhead. Looking up at the beach ball, the imaginary beach ball. Focus on your breathing. Nice inhale, slowing your exhale. On your next big inhale, bring your arms down. Clasp your hands behind you. And then fold forward to the inside of that right knee. Humble warrior. Inhale, coming back up. Now let's straighten this front knee. Take a half a step in with the left foot. And with both legs straight, and turning your pelvis towards the front of the mat still. Shift your hips back in space, kind of pop your booty out. Bring your hands to the top of your right thigh and press your heart down towards your right foot. Keeping the back nice and straight. You're just hinging from your hips only. If you're very flexible, you can reach around behind and lie your chest down onto that thigh. For me, I like to have a little more control, and I use my thigh to help me gauge how deep I go into this pose. Should be an intense stretch on the back of that right leg. Just breathe into that area. Breathe into the stretch. On your next inhale, hands to the hips, hinging upward. Very good. Stepping forward with the left. Let's take a half step back with the right and do this side as well, pyramid pose. Turning the pelvis towards the front of the mat. Pop your booty out in the back so you're shifting your hips back in space. Hands to the left thigh, bring your heart down towards the left foot. Go to the breath. On the next big inhale, hands come to your hips, hinge upward with your torso, step forward with the right. Hands come to your side, palms forward, shoulders are on the back of your body. Here we are, back into Tadasana pose. All right, let's do a little standing balance. All right, so coming to your mat, let's do our tree pose, Vrikshasana. So I'm going to plant my right foot. Same as we did when we started out with our Tadasana. Plant your heel, then plant the ball of your foot, then spread all your 5 toes and plant them down strongly too, kind of creating a nice strong base in that right foot. Shift your weight over onto the right, and then bring your left foot in to your calf or to your thigh, just not on your knee. Press your foot into your thigh or into your leg and your leg into your foot. Find your balance, and then bring your hands together at heart center. Open that knee out to the side, opening the hips. Now take an inhale and begin to grow your branches. Good. Wiggle your leaves in the breeze. Very good. If you'd like another challenge, you can look up at between your hands. Sometimes changing this aspect creates a balance challenge. It does for me. If you'd like, you can reach down, grab your big toe. I'm going to put my arm out for extra stability here. And then begin working the knee out to the side. If that feels good, you can begin to straighten your leg. That's about as far as I've got for my flexibility right now. It's okay if you need to use your wall. Continue opening your hip to the side. Lift that foot up. I know all you can see is the bottom of my foot, but I'm so impressive right now. When you've had enough of that pose, with great control, bring that foot back in and down. Fine work, Ellie. I can see that work, girl. All right, here, let's do the left. Planting that left foot. Planting the ball of the foot, rolling the feet down, creating a nice stable base in the left. Shift your weight over to the left. Bring the right foot in to the inside of the left leg. Bring the hands to the heart center. Engage your core and extend to the crown of your head. Continue pushing that knee out to the side. It's okay if you lose balance, you can use your foot as a kickstand. Grow your branches. Wiggle your leaves. Maybe tilt your head back and look up at the sky. I'm going to start off using my wall. You may reach down and grab your big toe with your right hand. Work your hip out to the side, knee out to the side, and when it feels good, straighten that leg. And then go to the breath. When you've had enough, bring that foot back in with control. Inhale and then exhale that foot back down. Very good. Y'all are some fine trees. Let's come to lying back down on our mat. All right, so then let's bring the soles of the feet to the floor, preparing for our supine twist. Cross the left leg over the right and move your hips over to the left. Arms come out to the left and right, creating a T shape. And then let your knees fall over to the right while you direct your gaze over to the left. Full supine twist. Relax with each exhale, allowing gravity to just move you deeper into this position. I often like to put my hand on top of that knee just to create a little bit of extra weight. But you really want to keep both of your shoulders in contact with the floor. Inhale, the knees come up, uncross, and then recross the other way. Shift your hips over to the right, let your knees fall to the left, look over at your right hand. Soften your core, allow your knees to pull you over deeper into this twist. Inhale, the knees come up, uncross. And then let's do our figure four stretch. So bring the left ankle over the right knee and press the left knee away from you while you reach down and grab behind the right knee and tug it in towards your right shoulder. Flexing the ankle on the left foot to protect your knee. Really press your sacrum down into the floor and your shoulders, kind of creating a little arch in your low back. That's going to intensify the stretch without putting an additional torque on your knee. When you're ready, exhale that foot back down to the floor, uncross, and then recross the other way. Bringing the right ankle to the left knee, flex that right ankle, press the right knee away, and then pull the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Exhaling that foot back down to the floor, uncross, and then extend your legs out below you. If that's comfortable for you, preparing for our final rest. If it feels comfortable for you, maybe roll up your blanket and put it underneath your knees. If it's uncomfortable to lay flat, it's okay to bring the soles of your feet onto the floor and point your toes together so that your knees fall together. That's another very comfortable way to rest here. It also releases the low back. Rolling your shoulders onto the back of your body. Palms facing up, your arms are away from your sides. Take a big inhale all the way in. Open your mouth and just sigh it out. Releasing into the floor. Feeling really heavy. One more time, big inhale here. Open your mouth, audibly sigh it out. Ah, gosh. Sinking down into your mat. Noticing all the places where your body's touching the floor. Releasing any tension in your jaw or in your brow. Releasing your thoughts. Don't hold on to any of them. Just rest for the next 3 minutes in Shavasana. time to come back into your bodies. And begin by wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe rolling out your wrists and ankles. Take a big inhale and reach your arms up and overhead. Big stretch, left side and the right side. And when you're ready, roll over to your right side and draw your knees in. And just take a breath here. And when you're ready, press yourself back up to a sit. Great job today, everyone. Thanks for coming and practicing with me and talking a lot about the sun salutation. We'll do the same thing next week. We'll move on to the next postures in the series and kind of deep dive into those and have a lot of good things to talk about. All right, it's a pleasure practicing with you all. Namaste.
Hey. So Mike, I bet a lot more people might want to do the sun salutation workshop.